But I wanted to, you covered quite a few things, and I just want to comment on a couple things that you said, and also something that is like I'm a specialist at, but people forget when it comes to capital. So first and foremost, I think that whenever you have a social impact venture, and it's whether it's for profit or not for profit, certainly not for profit, but you need to raise capital. There's the emotional sell is almost as important as the business mechanics, because it is a mission-based, company. And if you're lucky enough to where people that can benefit from what you're doing are many, then you're right. Crowdfunding is such a great move, because you're talking about an emotional first, monetary payoff second, but you're recruiting ambassadors that have a vested interest. Like, even if it's selfish, who cares, right? That's the world we live in, to put them to work, right? Like an army. And trust me, I mean, now that we're getting ready to take this massive EPX platform more public starting after the first of the year, I've thought for sure about crowdfunding, not because I think crowdfunding is the best move for me or whatever, but because why shouldn't the network participate when the network becomes something? I want everybody to have all the benefits of this thing, right? So that's just kind of one thing. The other thing that you had started to mention, which is just kind of dancing across the stuff that I've learned from you. I mean, so many businesses do not think about SBIRs, right? Or all the government funding buckets that are there. I mean, yeah, it's a pain in the ass, and there's a lot of like really crazy stuff that you had to go through documentation wise, as you would imagine. I guess maybe until Elon and these guys start like cleaning the house, but until then, if you can focus on it, which I would say Alan is, a great go-to resource to understand what might be there for you. So definitely reach out for many reasons, but those are things that most businesses and the ecosystem that I live in don't think about that, right? Even if they're impact companies, because a lot of the folks that are in EPX are actually impact companies, but they might also be tech companies doing something on the blockchain, something with AI. And so they fall, we're kind of preconditioned to go to the angels, venture, seed, pre-seed, Series A, all this stuff, when we're not thinking about crowdfunding, when we're not thinking about government funding, right? At a state, by the way, local and or federal level. And then, of course, there's
foundation.
That's right.
That's the funniest thing. They don't think that a foundation is right for a for-profit or a corporation being
That's
a
right.
sponsor. Remember, we did that whole thing on sponsorship.
Yep. So that's exactly why I'm doing this, is just dancing across this stuff. So sponsorships, right? A company that's aligned roughly even with where you're going may want to drop a little bit of money so that they can hang their hat on the benefit that you're bringing the world, right? That's a marketing spend. That budget is non-dilutive capital. And then, of course, you talked a little bit about a foundation for a corporation, right? Even if you got a corporation, if you create a nonprofit foundation, right? Like the EPX nonprofit foundation. And we've done this for many companies, many people inside of EPX, Alan, the two of us. It's really your expertise. But what I learned from you is that, number one, if you have a foundation, that nonprofit can go after buckets of money funding that the for-profit company cannot, right? Because it's for-profit. However, the nonprofit company, as long as you're not dancing in both, you don't have your feet in both of these things, the nonprofit can actually hire the for-profit for services to help it deliver its mission, right? So you can actually invent a revenue stream as long as it's all above board, right? And you're only personally benefiting, or the company's benefiting from one place. You can actually do good through a nonprofit and reward reasonably the for-profit company because it's delivering services. So I mean, these were all like incredible things. Here's what I wanted to